Hello, friends, and welcome to Figure Study, where we appreciate the form in Transformers, and we are back with more Tobots. In this case, we are looking at the Tobot Athlon Magma 6 combiner. And hang on a sec. There's a certain little someone playing with this right by my filming space. Go get it. Go on. It's okay. Go get it. Anyway, so here we are. And this was another one, like, I didn't think I was going to be getting any more Tobot combiners, but then I just kind of accidentally found this, like, videos of this one, and was just like, I think that's really awesome, so I need to get it. Do a quick size comparison before I forget. With Samus, of course. And as you can see, pretty decently sized vehicles. The cars are around Titan's Return Deluxe size in vehicle mode, maybe a little bit bigger or smaller, depending. The larger vehicles, the fire truck and the earth mover there, they are a little bit bigger, but yeah, they're all pretty decent sizes, but of course they combine to make one really big guy. So get her out of there. And let's go down the line. Now, I don't know anything about these individual vehicles or robots that they turn into or anything like that. I just know what they look like. Now, it's also worth mentioning as a reminder that unlike, say, Combiner Wars combiners, the Tobot combiners are vehicles that just turn into... Oh my goodness. Look, it's here. It's right here. Go get it. Pardon me while I fix this. That's good enough. So, as I was saying, for a reminder, the Tobot combiners, they do not do what like Hasbro and Takara combiners do. Whereas, this is still a little uneven. Whereas the Hasbro and Takara combiners, typically you have a vehicle that turns into a robot that then they all combine to make a big robot. Here it's just vehicles that turn into parts for a combiner. They do not turn into individual robots. However, there are separate figures that are bigger, that are the vehicle that turns into the robot, but they don't combine. So it's an interesting way of going about things. Anyway, we'll just start here and work our way around. Here we have the first vehicle, which is like a little sport coupe thing. And it's not bad. The green with red stripes, a little bit not doing it for me. It's kind of holiday-y, but like the shades are a bit weird. The light blue for the headlights, not bad though. And of course, there is a fair bit of molded and painted detail going all the way around here. Even on the back. There are stickers that came with this, but I did not apply any of them because I honestly just like keeping it stock. And you can see underneath there's not really much to it. I do like that they painted the wheels though. I always like the silver rims. Now there are some panels here and there, but I really don't care. Overall, not a bad looking car though. And now I will be doing transformations on these because they're simple and it's just, might as well. So for this, you can start from anywhere, but what I like to do is pop this out. So you just pull that, and I'll click back. Simple enough. And then here, with this, this particular one is a little bit, this is different from the blue one is the sort of mirror of this. This one, the foot is sort of attached to this bit here, which kind of clicks in. With that one, it is not, so it's a ever so slightly different transformation. Oh, and I didn't mention this, but I like that the windows are painted all the way around. It's kind of a shame that the side mirrors are painted the same exact color as the windows, but, I didn't get it for vehicle mode. Anyway, so transforming, just pull that down, and that'll just stop naturally because of this. And then under here, you can pull out the heel and flip that back. There we go. There we've got most of the foot. And now the last little bit is interesting. You actually pull this bit out. This whole section slides up and does the same on this side. And then they both fold in slightly. Just kind of tuck in like that, covering up that big gap. And that's actually pretty cool, I think. And you can also see now that that undercar detail makes for a good sort of knee. The pattern on the sides of the car come together to make an interesting pattern for the shin. And there's also some nice molded detail on these little reveal bits. So that's all very cool. And that is a leg. Next, we have the Lamborghini police car thing, and this is a very cool, very sleek looking police car. In police colors. It's black and white. The light blue of the headlights doesn't stand out that well against the white. Probably could have been either a different color or darker, but overall not bad. The windows, same color. All the small vehicles have the same window color, honestly. And then you've got the, of course, clear or translucent red and blue sirens there. Some little extra detail here. Some nice painted taillights. Really, this looks sort of like a combination of some kind of futuristic sports car and something you would see in Demolition Man. And of course, painted wheels. Always awesome. So yeah, I like the shape of this car. It is pretty sleek. Not sure how viable it is as an actual police car. It's like it doesn't have a rear window, so it might make driving a little dangerous, but whatever. And to transform this will become an arm, as you can see underneath there. So again, you can start from pretty much anywhere, but I'm just gonna flip this out. I'm trying very hard not to get too shadowy with this. So flip that out. And then this, just give it a tug, and it pulls apart. And now this whole section will actually lift up. There we go. And that exposes the hand, which then you can uncurl the fingers and the thumb if you want. Give the elbow a little bend. And you can see it actually reveals a little bit more detail under here when you slide it apart, which is really cool. Like just that silver and gray, almost engine-like detail, which is neat. And not really any more new detail revealed, but you get more of a hand, and there's actually some cool little detail bits in there. Yeah. And I think this is pretty cool how that looks. Like you've got that swept back bit that makes it look more like a gauntlet almost, which is very neat. So that is an arm. And now, okay, I'm gonna go for another arm. And this is, another sporty kind of car. Similar in shape to the police car, but also very different. Like you've got this kind of gap in the front here. And of course, you got bumblebee colors for some reason. But yeah, it looks cool, and I like the the vents on top. It's a neat, future-y looking car. For some weird reason, this one has translucent red for the rear tail lights, whereas the other cars have like paint, if that. I don't know why this one got the special treatment, but whatever. And then also the silver for the exhausts there. I really don't understand why this one got so much more in terms of like overall paint. Just not overall paint, but like the details are a bit nicer. And the way those blue headlights pop on the black there, very, very nice. But yeah, I don't know why that's like, I don't get it. Anyway, transformation for this one is exactly the same as the other one. Just fold down, slide out. There you can see more of that mechanical detail. Pop up, and fold out fingers. And again, same deal. You got that nice swept gauntlet look. So that's another arm. Now for the other leg. Oh, this setup makes it so difficult. This one, a little kind of goofy looking. It's like just kind of a silly little car. I mean, obviously it's built to be a racer, but still kind of silly. An odd shape, like that scoop in the front. And yeah, I mean, the red and blue is fine. I think the red is a tad too dark. Like just the way that shade, it doesn't quite go with the blue. But whatever. I mean, it matches the shade of red that's on the green guy, which I'm sure is the point. But it doesn't quite work with the blue, and it doesn't quite work with the green, so I don't know. But still, not a bad looking car overall, just not my taste. They did paint the rear lights, which is nice. You got some exhaust there. You can see like a little molded rear windshield wiper. Windows all the way around that aren't actually painted, really. I mean, I guess they kind of are, but again, side mirrors are the same color as the windows. It's the detailing, honestly, the paint detail on these aren't as good as the paint detail and plastic detail on some of the other combiners from Tobot, but you get 6 vehicles, so that's pretty cool. And now this one is a little bit different in that you see when you start to fold this back, the spoiler actually stays in place. So this one has a little bit more, like you can kind of go out a little bit further with it, whereas the other one, it just kind of has that stopping point. And then again, you pull these out, fold them in, and you can see also here more molded detail. I'm curious if the molded detail is the same on, yep. Okay, so the interior molded detail on those exposed bits is the same for both. And again, nice looking leg. Nice silver on the foot, nice molding, nice little painted bits here and there. Yeah, another leg. Okay, we're getting to the end here. Hi, Finley. Are you gonna help me? You wanna maybe toss one this way? No? Okay. So, the Earth Mover. This one's a bit peculiar to me. There's not a lot of color on it. I mean, I like the dark, not dark. Definitely not dark. The lighter blue on this. And I think the dark gray and the black all work really well. And silver on the insides of the treads there, which is nice. It's some nice color. It would be kind of nice if some of the mechanics in here were painted, but at least they're molded in. The thing that's kind of weird about this guy, though, is there's this bit here that looks like it should be able to move, but it doesn't. And I don't know why that was made to look like that, like why they didn't just go with the same shade of gray here or like blue. And then there's also the ladder here. This moves, and I don't know why. It doesn't really serve a purpose. Nothing else on this guy moves, but I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, it's a nice looking, kind of cute, modernish looking Earth Mover. And hi. Speaking of kind of cute. And yeah, it's just looks good. And again, same issue with the side mirrors being painted, or not painted, but being the same exact color as the windows. But hey, whatever. And then for some reason, there's just this bright red thing on the back. Don't really know why they did that. But to transform this fellow, I am just pushing stuff all over the place. I'm sorry. This is so awkward. So to transform this fellow, this guy is the easiest to transform out of all of them. Just come here, pull the treads out, rotate them up so that they're like that, and then the scoop can just kind of, you can just kind of fold that, tuck it away for now, and yeah, we'll come back to that. And that's it for transforming this. Very simple. I actually wasn't entirely sure how necessary it was at first, but in combine mode, I do think it actually ends up adding a fair bit to the figure. And now we come to the fire engine. Also the Finley. Oh boy. I look forward to the day that I have a bigger place and can actually film in a separate room where I can close them out. Anyway, fire truck. Neat, very modern looking fire truck, sort of like the same style fire truck as I think Sentinel Prime from one of the, was it Dark of the Moon? I think it was Dark of the Moon. And yeah, it looks good. It's got this kind of adjustable hose thingy on top that can swivel and whatnot. Some nice molding all along there. The silver on the back, I'm not sure if that's like should be silver or if it should be more red to match this. I'm not sure if this should be silver and it's just not painted. I don't know, but it looks all right. I do like how these shutters are molded in gray plastic. They actually serve a purpose, but I think it's also a nice detail. There's a fair bit of detail all around, and of course, silver tires, or rims rather. And you've got the big window area. You can probably see my reflection in some of that. And the extra molded fender there, the lights. Good looking stuff. I also like this stripe of gold that goes all the way along the sides there. Underneath, not much. On the back, there's this gap, which is kind of weird, but, you know, not really going to look at it from the back that often. Even though they painted this silver, which, you know, good on them. And then you've got the, of course, translucent plastic for the lights there, and then they painted that silver. This is a nice looking truck. Nice looking fire truck. It's a little bit, I think, squished up and cartoony, but I think all the vehicles are. It's a little weird how you've got these more sporty, racy cars, and then you've got a fire truck and a, you know, construction vehicle. But I don't know. I don't know what the theme for the show is. That's like there's a reason for that, but it's an odd combination. But yeah. But anyway, nice looking truck. And now we transform. So I'll pop this off, and this just accordions down, straightens out like that. And this will actually, while I'm thinking about it, this pegs in right here. Just pop that in, and that will be a detail for later. And now for the rest of this, just pull it apart. Whoop, don't get ahead of yourself now. Okay, so you pull it apart a little bit. And again, so many ways you can, like so many orders you can go in, but pull that apart. Then you can pop this down, and this just, you know, pops down on its own. Swing that up, and it'll click. It'll click. It'll click. There we go. And then rotate it around. And that's easy. And then for the back here, just pop it apart. And now before adjusting these, what you want to do is you want to reach under here and rotate these bits out. Those are on both sides. And now you can take these and actually accordion these panels down a little bit. And then just kind of straighten those up. And you can kind of see where it's coming together. On the top here, pull this out. And pull that out. And you can kind of see where this is going, I suppose. And now, the last bit, just flip the head out. And there you can see he's got like a football helmet thing, which is a little weird. Looks like one of those badly computer animated Monday Night Football robots. So yeah, there's the torso. And now I'm going to need to adjust this camera. One moment, please. Alright, I am unsure if I have it adjusted entirely the way it needs to, but we're going to roll with it, and we're going to start putting stuff together. So, I'm going to begin with the legs. And the center mass here. And then it's just a matter of connecting them. And you can tell just based on how these tilt where they're supposed to go. And there's actually a channel. Like there are these kind of lines along there, and you can kind of see like the little clippy things too. And there are channels on here. And you just line those up and push him in. And that, it holds really, like, yeah, it doesn't feel like it holds well, but it actually does hold pretty well. You got to give it a pretty good tug to get it out of there. So that's one leg attached. And we attach the second leg. There we go. Oh boy. I'm probably going to have to readjust. Pardon me a moment. Oh, why do these things always have to be so big? Bear with me. I will be, moving things around a little bit more. I just have to keep him closer so that I can actually reach things. Now we take this guy, and he just kind of slides over the back and clips onto these bits here. You can see there's actually these little gaps in the treads where they clip on. And one of the main reasons why this guy is important is he fills up this whole bit of nonsense, because that's nice and empty. But another thing that I actually think this, again, this guy's kind of pointless because he's just a backpack, but I think he actually does benefit the figure because once you slide him on, you can see that he actually gives him much broader shoulders. At least I think you can see. Yeah, you can see. So the broader shoulders, I think, work really well in this figure's favor. And now that this is attached, we can kind of pull this up, and there's no real, from what I can tell, like, correct way to adjust that scoop, but there we go. Just kind of have it up behind the head, however you want, really. I just like to keep it out of the way. And then we attach the arms, and that is a simple matter of plugging these bits here into these holes here. So just push that in, and this one. And there we go. Now let me get him pushed back a little bit more. No, my setup is not good for these big figures. Anyway, there we have Tobot Athlon Magma 6. This is a very, very cool combiner. He is he's kind of between Quatron and Deltatron. He's between in the sense that he's got the slightly more interesting complexity of Quatron with the easier and more fun transformation of Deltatron. Plus, he just looks cool. I mean, it looks really cool. He's surprisingly reasonably well articulated, too. I mean, you can't really get him into many other poses than this, but you can actually rotate 360 degrees of the shoulder. You can kind of tilt out a little bit, not a whole lot. You get the elbow bend. I wish there was a bicep swivel, but there isn't. You can actually move the legs out a little bit, move them up, bend at the knees a bit, get a little bit of ankle movement, but just a very small bit, and mostly forward rather than backwards. And of course you can turn his head. But it's a nice bit of articulation, which is another reason why I like how he's kind of between Quatron and Deltatron, because Deltatron had more posability, but you couldn't do anything with his head. Whereas Quatron, you could rotate the head, but you couldn't really do much else with the body. This is sort of like a nice combination of you can slightly pose the body and move the head, which I like. But yeah, I really like this look. And this is, again, where you can see, as silly as it is to just have that, the Earth Mover construction vehicle as a backpack, broadening out those shoulders makes this guy look really cool. If his shoulders were in a little bit more, I don't think he'd work quite as well. But this is really neat. I like this look. The football helmets I'm not super into, but it's, it overall it works. I just, would have been nice if the helmet was something a little bit more neat and robot-y rather than sports-like, but I think that's kind of the whole point of the line. So, that's just my thoughts on the matter. But yeah, just taken as a whole, this is very cool. I love the silhouettes. The proportions are really nice. It's like, it's a nicely proportioned robot. And as much as I enjoy Quatron and Deltatron, I will admit their proportions are a little bit on the weird side. I mean, I think they're cool looking. I like Quatron's chunkiness. And, you know, Deltatron's just fun, especially when he's got his gauntlets on. But I really like Magma 6's overall proportions, and I really like the fact that you don't have any extra bits that you have to worry about. Like with Deltatron, where you've got those gloves that you don't know what to do with when you have them in vehicle mode. Every single vehicle becomes a part of the robot here. There's no extraneous stuff. It's all just here. And I really like that. And you can also kind of see here, if you get him a little closer, you can kind of see how they did some neat things in terms of symmetry, where you've got the same style rims for the feet, and you've got the same style rims for the arms. So you've got just a little bit of cohesion there. The color scheme is a little bit all over the place, but it matches enough in places that it doesn't really bother me. Like the biceps, forearms, fingers on the hands are both the same on either side. The center stuff is nice and balanced because it's in the center. And then you've got like the same red details in both. You've got the same blue and silver for the feet. So it all kind of ties together overall. And while the orange and white and blue and green are a little bit out there, I still think it works relatively well overall. I kind of, you know, it would be nicer if there's just a little bit of tweak to the overall colors, especially with like the green, blue, and orange. I think if they just, I don't know, like if they went with slightly different colors that kind of complemented a little bit more instead of just having slight elements that kind of call back to it, I think it would have looked a little better overall. But I really can't complain that much because this guy is just very neat. Like the colors are fine, really. I'm just nitpicking. And the overall look of this guy is so cool. It's just, again, I love the swept back gauntlet looks for the hands. I think proportionally it's nice how like he's got thicker, like his legs are thicker below the knee, but they're not like enormous and bulbous. He's got like nice legs that are like nicely long legs, but not too long. He doesn't have the same problems as like I've seen with Giga 7, where like his hips like fly out like crazy. Like no, he maintains a pose. It's nice. And yeah, I really like this guy. Aside from my color nitpicks and like lack of a bicep swivel, I think this guy's really, really cool. And I'm glad I got him because honestly, I didn't expect to have a Tobot combiner top Quatron or Deltatron, but for me, Magma 6 actually does that. Oh, and I also have to point out, because this is a common thing with Tobot combiners apparently, I'm still really into the fact that they take the vehicle and like either the front or back of the vehicle, but like a recognizable portion of it and flip it upside down as the chest. I just think that looks cool. And I think that the upside down fire engine or upside down fire truck cab actually does make for a really cool chest. Oh, the wonders of using Audacity. You record for too long and it just immediately starts chopping up my audio. Sorry about that, folks. So, getting back to it, really like this guy. I honestly was not expecting, like I had Quatron and Deltatron. I was like, I'm good on Tobot combiners. Everyth's fine. Then I saw this guy and it's like, oh, I don't know. And then I got him and it's like, okay, I think he's now my favorite of the 3 Tobot combiners that I have because he's a really nice combination of looking great, being fun to play with, being sturdy and posable, and just being neat. he's very cool. And of course, almost made it through this whole thing without doing a size comparison. So let's fix that. So, Samus. There you can see Magma 6 is quite large. He is actually a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit more, just a teensy bit more than a head taller than either Quatron or Deltatron. So he is a tall fellow, but nicely proportioned. Where are you? So yeah, this guy was very cool. I'm very glad I got my hands on him. And I mean, he's going to be a little tricky to track down like any Tobots because, you know, they're not sold in the US, so you're going to have to go through either Amazon or eBay or something like that. And of course, you're going to pay a little bit more. But overall, I think that these things are common enough and being brought, like, ordered and imported enough that they're not absurdly priced. Most of them. There were a couple that I had my eye on that was just like, no, I'm not paying $300 for that. Nuh-uh. But this guy, when I got him, he was reasonably priced. And I think he was worth it. He is just very cool. Anyway, that has been my look at Tobot Athlon Magma 6. A very, very nice set of combining vehicles that don't have any extra bits, which I love. And they make a very cool robot. A very big robot. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. As per usual, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Any combination of those three would make me a happy Rob. And remember, art is more than meets the eye.